Well, hey everybody, I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to As Above, So Below, a rune and tarot divination for Thursday, the 9th day of November, 2023. Well, I get my tea over here so it can start cooling a little bit and I can drink it. Let's go ahead and look at the oracle card from this great deck. I'm only probably going to do this a few more times and then in fact, maybe this will be the last time we do it. You kind of gotten to see what the deck is like. I just like it, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. This is Hathor, and it's about celebration. You can see she's kind of in her own inner joy there. Her eyes are closed, her arms are raised, and it's almost like she's bringing about a new day in a lot of ways. You see, it looks like maybe, I'm not sure if that's land or water behind her because it's not blue, but sometimes you can see that. From that standpoint, it kind of looks like there's some boats here, but it's not. But looking at it reversed in the screen, it kind of looks like that. But I don't think so. I think she's just making her own joy. It's about embracing reverence, gratitude, celebration, and benevolence. It releases negativity and stagnation and causes movement in your psyche. Expressing reverence and gratitude and joy, it keeps you in a higher vibratory mindset. And otherwise, we may stay in negative perceptions and cause our own misery, because we can't find the joy in life. So dance to your inner music or to a really great song that you love and embrace your own celebration and gratitude and express that every day in your life. So the oracle card today is Hathor and celebration. Okay, let's go ahead and pull the rune from the Elder Futhark bag. Now this will be the above side of things, or the soul side of things. And then the Geomancy rune, we'll throw down the 4 elemental Geomancy runes and discover the ego side of things, or the below side of things. It's really we can think of things in terms of masculine and feminine balance, or projective and receptive balance, or but I think the more important blending of and balancing of who we are is between spirit and form and physical reality. We come into these bodies and we are essentially creating the world that we see and our reactions to it. And if we can see things from a higher perspective, it can control some of those reactions, to where you can try to find, okay, maybe there's a reason for why this is happening that I just don't know about. So let's not put anything more into it by judging it and reacting to it. And in a sense, when you do that, you're transmuting ego into spirit or higher awareness. But today's rune we start out with is Fehu. Fehu is the first rune of the Elder Futhark. It's a fire rune. It means cattle or wealth. It also, because back in the day, hundreds of years ago, thousands maybe, you had a time where cattle became a representation of wealth. It was movable. You could live somewhere during the summer months, and then somewhere else you could move your tribe to another area where it's much more, the climate's more temperate in the winter. And because cattle was movable, it was also tradable. And so Fehu is really the rune about transaction. But it's not just about monetary transactions. It's how we transact our experiences with others. Who are we within that? It can be used in magical workings as ascending rune. You could chant Fehu when you're about to cast your intention to the universe. It represents our life force and growth and success. But I think more broadly, we have to define, what does success look like? Is it about the money we have or the status we have? Or is it about the relationships that we cultivate with one another? And I think that with Fehu, if I had to choose an aspect of wealth, I would choose that. How wealthy are you that way? Are you integrating with others and transacting your experience with others in a way that's respectful and loving and uplifting, or is it about your own personal agenda? All too often, and we know people like that, don't we? That literally everything they do is about their own personal agenda. They don't seem to be able to live selflessly with other people. It's all about, what can I get from this person, and what can I do that, how can I get around and they don't know what I'm doing. It's that kind of negativity that can really impact how your interactions with other people. And let's face it, if you can't get that under control, I don't know how you're successful unless you're somebody that just has the ability to take. And frankly, there are people that do that. The uber wealthy might be part of that whole paradigm. Let's take a look. Let's put the elemental runes in the order of fire, air, water, and earth. So we have Puella today. As I've said in the past, there are 8 concepts in Geomancy, but you see both sides of the equation, so that creates 16 runes. And so Puella is little girl energy. It complements and balances Pur, which is little boy energy. Both of them are scattered, although Puella is not as, it doesn't have as much of a lack of impulse control as much as it is curiosity on overdrive. Well, the same can be said for little boy energy too, the poor side of it. But this is Puella, or Puella. And essentially, Puella is about you're being fortunate, but not too fortunate. You are kind of here, there, and everywhere with what you're looking at. Your curiosity is so strong that you're a little bit scattered in your focus. It can be, you can be a little fickle at times, but it's happiness derived from harmony and balance. It's a real good rune for people that are Libras. I'm a Libra. I was a Puella growing up also, because I had to know about everything, and I still do. And so I might be, although I can concentrate and focus on things, there's just times when there's just so much to look at and so much to see and understand that it's like, oh my goodness, where do I begin? That's Puella. My little granddaughter is a Puella. She's very curious, very intelligent, asks a lot of questions, wants to know about things, and just extraordinarily curious little girl. And she pays attention. She pays attention to adults and what they say and what they do, and just pays attention to everything. And so, she's kind of everything everywhere at once, right? And so that's kind of the energy today. And so it may be that is going to help you if you're trying to grow your wealth of some kind today with Fehu. But it also could be on the downside of it. Maybe you have a little bit of trouble focusing in on a conversation you need to have with somebody that could then help you gain some additional wealth today, or abundance, or success. And so, but again, sometimes success is all about being able to look around and see opportunities. And so you may be able to use that Puella energy to really keep your eyes on everything at once so you don't miss anything. That could be another way of seeing that. Because let's face it, if we miss something, it could be the one thing that could come through for us that day, right? And or for the future. You could miss an opportunity. You could miss a piece of the equation that opens things up. And so if your focus is a little bit scattered that way, or if you're just focused on too many things at once today, remember that could impact your ability to see what you need to see, or it could open more doors. Either way, you might notice something that other people just don't notice, and it could be the answer to something today that could bring some additional success or a positive outcome. So let's just take a look here, though, at the cards and see if we get a little more information. But we'll see. We'll cut the deck and take the lower half, and we'll start out by taking 3 cards. Now Monday we had 4 cards, which was kind of fun. Here we have 2 cards from the Major Arcana and 1 from Pentacles. And I think that I think what I want to do, oh, 2 cards from 8s. Let me see. Let me do the numerology. Where's my calculator app? Okay. So we've got 8 plus 8 plus the tower is 16. That's 32, so 5. Let me do that one more time to make sure that because I'm doing this in the dark and I can't really see my keyboard that well. So we'll do 16. Oh, that's 15. 16. Oh, no. I did 116. 16. 8 and 8 is 16 plus 16 is 32. So overall 5. So there's a change. 5 also means protection. So there could be a change in circumstances in terms of your wealth today. Oh, I forgot to put the 1 in. So that'd be 33. Oh, well, isn't that interesting? Because I forgot to do the numerology of Fehu, and Fehu's the first rune of the Elder Futhark. So 1 plus 8 plus 8 plus 16 is 33. So that's Christ consciousness. So we won't, this is going to be a powerful reading where things can be very, very transformative, but also very higher vibratory, as with the idea of keeping your mood positive and benevolent and feeling gratitude for everything, and just shifting that stagnation, that getting stuck in something, and letting it shift to something more positive. I think that the foundation is there with the runes for that. Certainly with the oracle card. I almost hate to make this be the last one that I do, but I think I will anyway. But we have 33, which is Christ consciousness. And again, that's very spiritual. That's very high vibratory. So your dealings with others, your transactions with others today should be on that level. And being aware of all things, seeing the bigger picture, instead of following the butterfly through the field, like I've said before about Puella. You need to stay focused today, and keep that focus in a higher vibratory thing and a less reactive type of an experience. But I think that I like to, whenever I have 2 numbers that are the same on cards, you got 2 8s here, I like to have them bookend what's in the center. So let's read it from that standpoint. Because basically 8 is about material recognition and approval. It's also about leadership, greater harmony, but it's also about strength or inner strength. So here we have the inner strength to push on and essentially work our craft. He's sort of out away from everything. If you look way over here on the side, you can see what might be the town. You can look at it that way. You can't really see anything else that's behind him, but you can see that little piece right there. But what he's doing, he's a craftsman. Here you have the 8 of Pentacles. Pentacles, again, is about money. It's about our finances, about our material security, but it's also about our physical reality. But I think that it reinforces on Fehu that we're talking about some kind of positive material outcome here, or material success. Recognition and approval from higher ups, maybe, or from customers that you have if you're a business owner. But this could be something where you're putting in the time and it's starting to yield some results here. You can see it all stacking up right here. And it's out there displayed for people to see. So there's some kind of recognition and approval there also with the 8 here, the 8 of Pentacles. But he's very diligent. He's very serious. He's very focused. And I think with Puella, you can get ahead of yourself and lose some of that focus. So maybe that's what we're talking about with Puella today. Puella means a lot of different things, a lot of different interpretations for it, which is good because, it can keep you positive. It can keep you fortunate. But it's not so fortunate that you forget yourself and that you forget to keep working diligently at what you're doing. And the 8 of Pentacles is suggesting that. And when you do, some transformation can happen. I know it looks bad, doesn't it? But you see the lightning come in, blowing the top off the tower there, and maybe it's the king and queen falling, but we don't know that they died. There could be a moat out there, and they fell in it, and they're just fine. They're swimming by the time we look at this card. They're swimming, and they're getting out, right? Someone's helping them out. We don't know that anything bad happened to them here, but something catalytic has. And it's rebalancing things. Now, 16 reduces to 7. All right. And 7 is an interesting number. It's about observation, but if you imagine the 7 as the scales with, and I've said this before, where you've got each pan equals 3, so 3 and 3 is 6, and the center point is 1, that's 7. It's letting things settle out, observing before reacting, letting things settle out before you really know for sure what's going on, and then making a decision from there. And so you could suggest here that lots of opportunities are here for success. And because they're out, they're on a pole here and they're displayed for everyone to see, it could indicate that others are noticing you, either in your current job, the higher ups maybe noticing what you're doing, maybe considering you maybe for a promotion, or you could be an entrepreneur, you could be a craftsman who just works alone as a sole proprietorship, and because you're advertising what you do, more clients are noticing, potential clients are noticing, and so maybe you're starting to build your income here today. That's what the 8, I think, is along with Fehu. I think that's what it's really describing. And so as you sift through new opportunities, you let things settle out and you find the best ones, maybe, that, or if you can't simply do that, you have to take whatever you can get because you're new, then you start to think in your mind, well, okay, ultimately I'm going to do all this for now, but ultimately I'd like to shift this into something a little bit more nuanced or specific for a specific clientele. It could be something like that. But certainly the Tower is about transformation. So something shifts and you stay in that positive mode. You stay in that mode of, I'm going to build my trade. I'm going to build my business. I'm going to build my expertise. So if you are working for someone, then it can put you in a better position, maybe in the company you're in, or maybe it gives you the skill set to go and look for something else that's better, that might be attractive to some other employer. And certainly a skill set like being a craftsman, like is expressed here, that takes diligence. It takes a lot of time, takes focus, it takes ability, it takes talent. But you need to have that drive to succeed, and Fehu, I think, aligns really well with that. And when you do, you can transform that entire experience so that all that you've put into it is going to yield some more positive results. But then we come to the other 8, and we see taming the wild within here with the woman lovingly holding the lion in her hands. And if we look at Puella as an expression of the lion, although I don't think we really want to do that too much here, but just a little bit maybe. The lion could indicate the ego. The lion could indicate this unrestrained energy that has no control. It's there, it's instinctual, and there's no higher awareness really governing it. It's very primal and all of that. And here you have this lovely woman, we'll call her the goddess, and she's got all this abundance around her. You see the lemnis gate above her head, the figure 8. That's a symbol for eternity, and this is this eternal need to have higher self, basically transmute ego into spirit awareness, and keeping the ego in check, basically keeping the ego loving the spirit to the point that it wants to stay in check, that it's eager to see what spirit is going to bring us today, essentially. And again, that takes a tremendous amount of inner strength to do that with the 8. Not just to build your whole experience, but to keep the ego in check, to keep to keep you on track, basically, to create what you need to create in your life. And so I think that for today, this will probably be kind of a short one here. I think for today, looking at this in terms of Christ consciousness, I think it tells you really everything you need to know, that this is higher awareness, and you've got to be able to see the bigger picture, and you've got to be able to focus and work your craft, work your trade, build your skill set. Let it be known so that it's known to other people. Don't hide it in a closet. Make sure that it's there for other people to see, irrespective of what you're doing this for. If you're doing it in a place you already work and you want to achieve more in that business, then that's going to be the focus. But otherwise, if you're trying to start something of your own, you've got to build your name out there, and the only way to do that is to let people see what you can do. And and then also, then you'll have word of mouth as you please your customers, as you give them what they want or even more than they expected. Then that's going to be your best, word of mouth is your best advertisement. But being out there and not hiding what you're doing, showing the world who you are, can be very transformative. And unfortunately, sometimes, the agenda can be such that, it's less about your skill set and more about your ego. And so you want to make sure that you keep that in check. And I think the card of strength is telling us to do that here, is that as you're building your job or your wealth or your experience or whatever, make sure that you do it in a balanced way so that you're not getting so caught up in all the praise you might be getting and you getting a swelled head about it all, but using that as a barometer to say, you know what, I'm doing something right. I need to keep doing it. And that's the diligence here with the Eight of Pentacles. But it does, again, it takes taming the wild within so that you have the motivation. I've known some businesses where, in fact, I knew a guy that was a painter, and you could never get a hold of him. If he had whatever he was doing for you at his place where he works, at his building where he's working, whether it's his house or he's got another place somewhere else, he couldn't get it together to get the job done. And he was very, very good at what he did, but people didn't want to hire him anymore because you couldn't get your stuff back, really. And so it's something where, he could not tame the wild within. His mind would float around, he'd be in more of a puella or maybe a poor type of mindset, and he's going to do this, and this seems fun, I'm going to go do that, but I've got, 20 things here, customers are calling me and I'm not answering the phone, and it's like, that's no way to, and seriously, the guy was incredible, and he could have been very, very successful if he just could have stayed diligent and stayed responsible. But instead, it was like, no, I'm going to go play when I should be working, and I have customers calling me. I've got 10 calls from each one, and I'm not returning their phone calls. Well, pretty soon they're going to show up at your place of business and say, "Give me my stuff. I don't care where you are in it. I'm not going to pay you a dime." That's where that kind of stuff happens. And I think that if you're trying to build your wealth, your trade, your skill set, I think that it's something that takes a very deliberate and diligent and responsible focus. And then when you do that, you have a lot of transformation that can happen. A lot of great things can happen out of it. And allowing things to settle out so that you can see what's going on and to see the direction you need to go. But again, it's working with the inner strength that's going to allow you to do that to begin with, instead of being so easily, taken in other directions. It's like, oh, I think I'm going to go do that, or I'm going to go do that. It's like, no, you got a job to do. And that's what you need to be doing now. And you need to find the joy in doing that. And because if it's not, then maybe you're in the wrong profession. I don't know. Maybe you're doing the wrong thing if it's not holding your interest. But I think today, if this resonates for any of you, this is just a sign to keep working and to stay positive and to show what you can do, and watch the transformation take place and see, if new doors open for you as a result. But again, it's going to be controlling, balancing the due diligence with the inner strength to be able to do that, and the unfortunate, if you're easily distracted by other fun things, then maybe that's a tough thing for you. So balancing distraction with due diligence, I think, might be the 2 eights here. And then watch the transformation happen here with the Tower. And then see your wealth or your success increase with Fehu. So anyhow. Find the joy in doing that. And that way you can embrace the most positive side of Puella as well today. So anyhow, that's it. Thanks for watching. And check out the blog. Everything goes up on Sunday nights, or early Sunday morning, I should say, not Sunday night. I schedule things for the midnight hour. I don't know why, but I do anyway. So go over to Stepping Aside at imsteppingaside.com. If you forget, click on more, and a window will open up and show you everywhere I'm at and other stuff, and it shows you the website address right there. And have a good day, have a good weekend, and see if any of this might, if it doesn't resonate today, maybe it will in a few days, or later on. It's like, oh, if I expect to be able to succeed, I need to be diligent in my efforts and not get distracted by all these other fun things I might want to do. So there's always time for that. And right now it's about building your wealth and your experience and the recognition that you deserve to have. So anyhow, thanks so much, and click subscribe if you haven't yet. I'd love you to do that, and come back again on Monday for another edition of As Above, So Below. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.